Good morning, and welcome to Monte Vista Unitarian Universalist Congregation. My name is Carissa Moore. I am the treasurer of your Board of Trustees, and here are this morning's announcements. The Justice Coordinating Committee is supposed to be meeting today at noon in the Founders Room. If you chose any tags from the Adopt a Family tree, your wrapped gifts are due by the end of service next Sunday, December 3rd. On Sunday, December 24th, there will be no 10:30 a.m. service. There will only be the 5 p.m. service for Christmas Eve. And now a few quick monetary updates. The Common Endowment Fund money for the fire upgrades for Montessori should be received by mid-December. And then our final update, the roof money, our lovely box here. As of last Monday, we were at $22,478. Woo! So that means we only need $2,522 to reach our goal. So keep that in mind. And now I will turn it back over to Catherine.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
So we begin our worship with the sound of the gong. We ring it 3 times, once for those who came before the Tongva and other native peoples who were the original stewards of this land and who called it home long ago. We also honor our ancestors and the founding members of this congregation who imagined and formed it over, well, almost 75 years ago plus now. So for them. We ring it once for those of us here and now, for our members and friends, our staff, our extended UU family who hold and care and grow this beloved community that we call our own. And we ring it once for those who will come and for the future, for all who will find belonging and meaning here in the days to come. Our opening words, I think I need my glasses. Amid all the noise in our lives, we take this moment to sit together, to give thanks for another day, to give thanks for all those who are in our lives, who have brought us warmth and love. We give thanks for the gift of life. We know we are on our pilgrimage here, but for a moment in time. Let us open ourselves then, here and now, to the process of becoming more whole, of living more fully, of giving and forgiving more freely, of understanding more completely. The meaning of our lives here on earth is this. I love that song. If you don't know Jim Scott, he used to come here and do concerts. He's a well-known UU. I checked on him online, and I just wondered what he's up to, and he's very busy giving sermons. It's Jaryus, maybe I need to get a little closer. How's that? Better? Okay. I have a tendency to talk low. Okay, so let us light our chalice. We light our chalice with the magic lighter. And our words are, glory be to the earth and the wind, glory be to the sun and the rain, glory be to animals and children, glory be to our holy flame, which calls us together as one. And our covenant, we actually often stand for this, but I know this is an up and down affair, so if you'd like to, you can sit, but let's say this with gusto. Okay. We affirm that love is the greatest purpose of this congregation. The search for truth is our constant star, and service is our prayer. We pledge our hearts, minds, and hands to the challenge injustice and courage, to find hope in times of fear, and to live out our Unitarian Universalist values every day as a beloved community. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all that is sacred in life. And let us sing Spirit of Life, first in English and then in Spanish. And you can sing better if you stand, those of you who've got it in ya. Okay. And did any children arrive? Are there children? They've gone? Oh. All the children are out. So I think we could probably, do you want to sing to them anyway? We could sing out our staff that's going to work with them. Okay, let's sing to our children. For our Sunday offering. We are supported by our generosity. And we also, besides supporting ourselves, we choose organizations to donate to. And we share the plate. We call it Share the Plate offering. And this month, our money is going to Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. And at the beginning of the month, I think that Maureen Higdon talked with us about this. So half of all undesignated offerings go to Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense. And while we come forward with our offerings and offerings for the Beta Center, our local food pantry, if you have any, we are having a treat that I didn't know about until just a little while ago. Jill is going to sing a solo with Lily, so you can introduce it. So come on forward.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jill Regul, and my mother and I used to sing this song at the piano from a Little Green Songbook, and I didn't know that it was Gilbert and Sullivan from The Mikado. And so here is The Moon and I.
So we share our personal joys and concerns and sorrows with one another. And I have a number that were given to me today, and I don't know if there are any online. I can't see on my... No? Okay. That's coming from Jaryus. Okay, so we have a joy from Ellen Livingston. She was joyful for the Thanksgiving feast here at MVUUC. And she says, big thank you to all who helped, which was everybody. And also, along the same lines, we have another thank you for our Thanksgiving dinner. It's from Letha and Alan. And they were grateful for the 4.5 generations of their family that was with them. Letha's mom, Peggy, her son, Josh, Letha's granddaughter, Venice, and great-grandson to be born in April. So 4.5 generations. So that's from Letha and Alan. And then Megan and Bob are feeling joyful that they have been married for 35 years. So congratulations. And Ellen and George are grateful that their son, Craig, is visiting from New Zealand, where he's living on his sailboat currently. That sounds fun. Well, welcome. So as you heard, these are all joys. And that's a wonderful thing. So let us just enter into a time of prayerful meditation together. So take a breath, big breath in, and relax as you breathe out. And breathing in and breathing out, we quiet our minds and we slow our bodies. Take a moment and just feel your shoulders relax, your hearts open. Let us rejoice together for the joys that have been shared here today. And we send our loving thoughts out to the hearts of those who hold griefs and concerns and sorrows that they have not shared today, but which we know many of us hold. We send loving thoughts inward to ourselves. Take a moment to send some love into yourself. It's hard to be calm in these unspeakably unsettling and tragic times. Yet, it's daytime, and the sun is shining intermittently, but the clouds are beautiful, and birds are singing, and the life that is living, and we are together here in this moment. So let us sit quietly in conscious gratitude for this precious time that we're sharing. In gratitude for the comfort and safety of our surroundings, in gratitude for the joyous beauty of the mountains, the trees, the sky, in gratitude for the air we breathe and the breath we can take, in gratitude for our shared desire for an end to the violence and the destruction that is taking place around the world. In gratitude for the peace of this moment. May the gratitude which fills our hearts today give us hope to carry on and the strength to do what must be done. Blessed be. And our reading today, I will find it, I hope. I have too many papers. Okay, it's some words from, I couldn't pick one, so I took them both. The first is from a book entitled Living in Gratitude, A Journey That Will Change Your Life by Angelis Ariane. And she says, the application of multicultural wisdom, the shared values, and the inherent positive beliefs of humanity has become known as perennial wisdom. Perennial wisdom has been passed on from generation to generation since the birth of humankind. It continues to surface among diverse peoples, unconnected by geography or language, yet inextricably linked to what is inherently important in our shared experience of what it means to be human. Of all the universal themes that have been transmitted through perennial wisdom, the expression of gratitude continues to be the glue that consistently holds society and relationships together. Its opposite, ingratitude, contributes to societal dissolution and separation. The expression of gratitude is essential to humankind's sustainability and survival. Gratitude's stabilizing and healing effects, which have been researched from multiple standpoints, cultural, psychological, physical, spiritual, and even financial, have made it abundantly clear that the benefits of living a grateful life are irrefutable. If gratitude is a state of being that is essential to a life well lived, why then, in modern times, do we not cultivate and express it on a daily basis? After all, giving thanks and expressing appreciation for blessings and gifts of life is of natural human response. Perhaps the key reason we do not make gratitude a part of our daily lives is that the accelerated pace and multiple distractions of modern life have simply made it all too easy to forget gratitude's importance. We need not settle for a present disconnection from the healing, life-affirming, and uplifting human experience of gratitude. By engaging with the perennial wisdoms, we are reminded of our natural capacity to feel and express gratitude. Through conscious and sustained practice over a period of time, we can discover again how gratitude and all its related qualities, thankfulness, appreciation, compassion, generosity, grace, and so many other positive states, can become integrated and embodied into our lives. When people, in great numbers, choose to practice, integrate, and embody gratitude, the cumulative force that is generated can help create the kind of world we hope for and desire for ourselves and for future generations. And this is from Gratitude Works by Robert E. Emmons. A decade's worth of research on gratitude has shown me that when life is going well, gratitude allows us to celebrate and magnify the goodness. But what about when life goes badly? I've often asked if people can or even should feel grateful under such dire circumstances. My response is that not only will a grateful attitude help, it is essential. In fact, it is precisely under crisis conditions when we have the most to gain by a grateful perspective on life. In the face of demoralization, gratitude has the power to energize. In the face of brokenness, gratitude has the power to heal. In the face of despair, gratitude has the power to bring hope. In other words, gratitude can help us cope with hard times. And it is my pleasure now. I have myself listed first, but I'm going to speak last on, this is one of my favorite services when we have people from our congregation come forward and talk to us about gratitude in their lives. And I'd like to call Jaryus. He's in the closet out in there. But he was eager as one of our young adults to come and share his views. Come. Thank you.
I didn't know I'd be going first.
I know, but it's okay. You'll get it over with.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Hello. You may... okay. So you might be more familiar with my voice than my face at this point, considering how often I'm yelling out from behind those doors over there. But normally, I don't tend to volunteer for these kinds of things very often. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but the primary one is that I'm just not particularly good at being vulnerable with people about the things that like I'm thankful for, right? But I think the main reason why I decided to this time is because, you know, I spend 365 days a year, you know, stuck in my own head trying to figure out my own issues, right? That it's kind of hard for me to, you know, break myself out of that and, you know, communicate, just talk to and be with the people around me. But if not now, during the time that is specifically designated on our calendar as being for Thanksgiving, then when, you know? So I've been a little busy this week, so I haven't had as much time to prepare as I would like, but I wanted to take the time to list a couple of things that I'm thankful for that I've been thinking about. You know, I'm thankful for my mom putting up with my crap and still being stuck in her house for the last, I don't even know how many years while I've been trying to get my things together and try to finally get my associate's degree over at Citrus College. I'm thankful for my father still continuing to give me advice even after giving me the very harsh push that was necessary for me to figure out the things that I needed to do. I'm thankful for my younger brother being able to graduate from high school, even despite COVID-19 and quarantine messing up a lot of that process for a lot of people. I'm thankful that when my older brother was in the military, he didn't have to go and do anything truly dangerous, then he was able to come back to us. I'm thankful that my cat's medical issues weren't serious enough that he had to be put down, and that he's still able to hang out with me every day. I'm thankful for my composition and critical thinking professor's willingness to allow me to complete the class after missing an entire week because I thought it was spring break a week early. I'm thankful for my scientific methods research professor for allowing me to continue the class after missing the first day, because half the class missed the first day and it wasn't just me. I'm thankful for the job opportunities that I've been able to take over the past year, because I've been financially destitute for a very long time. I'm thankful for, well, Robert's not here, but I'm thankful for his efforts in starting the youth group and giving us a space to be able to talk about whatever, because truthfully, that's not something that I get to do very often when I'm stuck, you know, in the hustle and bustle of life in general. I'm thankful for being able to be a part of this church for the last, I don't even know how many years, because this is probably the one place where I would be willing to do this kind of thing. And last but certainly not least, I'm very glad that audio tech is so incomprehensible to most people that you're willing to pay me $22 an hour to do it for you. So thank you.
Thank you, Jaryus. Jaryus, we're grateful and thankful for you, for everything, and thank you so much for sharing. And now I would like to call Charles Edwards.
Good morning. You know, when I joined about a month ago, I didn't think I'd be up here this quickly. I thought I had some space to kind of get my act together. But I want to thank Catherine for twisting my arm to get me to come up here. What I want to do is just kind of do a retrospective and go back a bit, because I think we forget, with the hustle and bustle of life, we forget all the things that make us what we are, or made us what we are. And so I want to go back a little bit and talk about just a couple of people that, or a few people, that were very impactful for me. Let me put on my specs so I can see what I'm reading here. I didn't used to have to use these, but okay. So, Catherine, I want to thank you for the opportunity. My mom and dad, my parents, and I grew up in a very different situation. Not a nuclear family, all that stuff. We were just very poor and crazy situation. But my mother was my rock, and you know, she really taught me what unconditional love is all about. She had a very, very tough life. 6 kids, I was the last one, and she was uneducated, had to clean houses for a living and support us and all that. Just an amazing lady, very proud, very protective. Even I recall one time when I was growing up, and there was a young girl in the neighborhood who seemed to be getting interested in me, and she wasn't to my mom's liking. And so, for some reason, she was in our vicinity. We lived with a housing project, and my mom realized she was outside, and she was, you know, trying to get my attention. And my mom actually said a few not very pleasant words to this young lady, but you know, she was very protective. She said, you know, she wanted me to be something special, and wanted me to avoid bad influences. My mom had poor health throughout her life. She died. She had 3 strokes, died at age 62. I was not around. I was off chasing my corporate life when she died, and I didn't have a chance to say goodbye. And that was just a tragic situation for me. But I have so much gratitude for this lady who devoted so much to me and tried to make me into something. My dad was my idol. He had a unique ability to make me feel like I was the most important person in his life. Just an amazing man. I don't know if you know about Gary Chapman's book, The 5 Love Languages, but one of them is quality time, which is my love language. And I think I got it from my father, because whenever I was with him, and he didn't live with us, he used to visit once a week. The time I spent with him was just amazing time, just quality time, very special. I felt like I was so important. And I guess I inherited that, because that's what I identify as my love language. The other thing about my dad is that he insisted that I become a Catholic and go to Catholic church, which my mom wasn't. And that was a major, major change in my life. But that really charted a path for me, because it got me into a education system and supportive system, and the rest was really very, very positive. My dad died when I was 9 years old. I felt my world had ended when he died, but in looking back, I appreciate those 9 years, because they were just absolutely amazing years. Some other people that are, ring the bell if I go over time, okay?
I don't have the bell.
Oh, good. Couple of people, and there's a whole list of people that I'd love to share my gratitude with, but one of my friends, Fernando, is a person that I met 24 years ago when our kids were little people. And he and I text every single day just to check in. And that is just, you know, again, I take it for granted sometimes, but you know, those few days when we miss it, I like, what's going on here? What happened? Another person that I met about 10 years ago is Anthony, who lives in Denver. And we were going through a consulting training course for small business consulting. And we hit it off. And since then, we have a weekly telecon every Wednesday for an hour and just talk about stuff, whatever. But again, it's just, it's a rock in my life. A little closer to home, UUC. It took me a while to sign the papers, but this community has been amazing for me, and it's a chance. After years of Catholicism and dealing with that dystopian situation, it gave me a chance to really sort of come home to a community that I really, really enjoy and relate to. And so I have a lot of gratitude for this community, which is now my community. And of course, the person who brought me here is Ellen. Ellen found me meditating one morning. I used to go to a little space in our apartment complex with trees and all kinds of nice stuff. And I would meditate. And Ellen was walking by one day and saw me and stopped, and we started chatting. And the rest is history. Over time, she twisted my arm enough to get me to come to some services, but I felt I landed in a good place. And again, it's because of Ellen. So thank you so much. The last person I want to recognize is one of the nuns that I live with, so to speak, at Catholic school, Sister Mary Ingrid. And I consider her my guardian angel. She was a little bit different than a typical nun. She was young, she was attractive, she was from Belgium. Early 20s or so when I met her. She used to monitor the playgrounds. That was sort of her responsibility. And so she got involved with us kids playing softball or whatever. In fact, I recall her tying up her habit between her legs and coming out and playing softball with us. But for some reason, she singled me out. And I recall her one time applying a little pressure to my ear, as nuns tend to do, and telling me, "I will not let you screw up. You're too good." And yeah. Anyway, she called me Charlo. The only other person that called me that was my dad. How about that for coincidence? Anyway, she really was super supportive. She was my 5th grade teacher, and I was first in the class that particular year because she made sure I busted my butt to get there. And then going on, I did very well scholastically, but she was just amazing. She attended my high school graduation, and I was trying to get Jaryus to put this on the screen, but we couldn't make it happen technologically. But this is my mom. This is me, of course, at age 18 or 17. And there's Sister Mary Ingrid. And just a lovely lady. Yeah. I heard that she left the order, and not surprising, because she was kind of a rebel, and went back to Europe and got married and whatever. But she died 15 years ago, and I regret not having kept in touch. She must have been in her 60s, so that's kind of youngish. But anyway, people that have made a significant impact on my life. And I really, very fortunate. Thank you very much.
That is so special. Oh my God, thank you so much. I'm going to look at the time. Oh, okay, I have time. So I was worried that I had wrote down what I wanted to say, and then I went through it, and it took longer than I thought too. It's hard to condense such a big thing into such a little space. So I have, I'm going to watch the time for you guys, though. I have 2 stories that I want to tell that are, to me, I guess, stories in the moment, stories of gratitude in the moment. So I have a gratitude practice. I started a number of years ago. I was taking flute courses, Native American flute courses, and the teacher introduced us to this little practice, and it just hit a chord with me. And it's basically very simple. I have a few other practices, but this is the one I think means the most to me and that I never forget. But I go with my flute out every morning when I wake up, pretty raggedy and tired. I go to my backyard and I sing to the day while I look around very carefully at my raggedy backyard and love it. And I look at the bees and the sun coming up and just whatever's there. And I sing this song. And I'm not going to sing it to you because I have a raggedy voice, but it just basically says, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day. And then I learned how to play that melody on the flute, and I play it on my flute. And I improvise whatever's in my heart at that moment to my day. And then she taught me sort of a Native American offering to Great Spirit you do with your flute. But I expanded it to the Spirit and to the earth. And that's how I start my day, every day. Sometimes I sing it with a feeling that doesn't feel that pleasant, but I always end out feeling good by the end and ready to do my day. And I think a lot of you know that my sister, who was so dear to my heart, died a month ago, and a little over now, and I'm grieving so deeply for her. And thinking about, you can't help but when someone's passed, your gratitude for them comes so clear. You see it so clearly, and of course that is true with her. But I wanted to, if I believe, which I believe the way to be is to live in a state of gratitude, not to have a moment, but to be in gratitude. So I think I've had some of that, some things happen to me that let me know that I'm being a little successful with that. So these are the stories I want to share. I'll keep them short. I teach at a school, a non-public school for severely emotionally disturbed teenage girls. And we deal with some pretty extreme behaviors, some pretty really sick, broken kids. And I've done it for 30 years now. And I've always felt blessed to have the opportunity to be able to do that and to be able to be successful. But I have been off taking care of my sister, and I was getting ready to come back to work, and my director called me just to check in, but she wanted to tell me something. She wanted to tell me that one of our students planned to say something to me, and she wanted me to be prepared for it. She said it was really awful. And if she did this, even though she'd been talked to, that she wanted me to be prepared for it. And she knew this was going to happen because this girl had told some other students that she planned to say this terrible thing, and they were so upset they reported her, and thus she got called into the office apparently. But what she was going to say, and she was so concerned about this, was that I was a terrible person. And because of this, that's the reason why my sister had died. And so, I was glad she told me. It didn't bust me up I mean, I've had some things said to me, but that's a pretty strong one. And so I did spend time thinking about how would I respond to her if this happened, because I wanted to be good. I wanted to be right. And you can imagine some of the things I felt like saying. And you would have to know this student. She's something else. She's a manipulator, a liar. She's mean. She's a bully. She's racist as all get out and really proud of it. She loves to shock people, and cause chaos and take over classrooms. And, she's difficult. So I went back to work, and weeks passed, and this girl didn't say anything. So I sort of let it go. And I didn't honestly keep it in my mind anyway. But then the Thursday before Thanksgiving break, I heard her in the back telling students, and with a proudly, that she got a B in her class because of her personality. And that she wasn't being graded on her ability, she was being graded on her personality. And I thought, oh man, that is not true. But I thought she was talking about her class with me, which she actually often gets B's in. And I said to her, I was at the front of the class, I was actually passing out papers, and I was moving through the class. And I said, well, that in my class, grades were based on ability and their performance. And she said, well, that wasn't true in her math class because she never did any work, and the teacher never taught anything anyway, and she still got a B. So it had to be her personality. So I had, by that time, come to stand up by her desk, and I said to her, well, in my class, you're graded on your abilities, and you do pretty well here. And so in a quiet voice, she looks at me and she says, you are a horrible teacher. You're actually a horrible person, and that's the reason why your sister died. And then she looks back, and I said, I heard you were going to say that to me, and I guess you've finally done it. I'm sorry for the problem inside of you that would make you want to do something like that. And she said, you think that's a problem? I'll say it louder. And I said, I don't know about that, but in my class, you get your good grades because you earn them. And she said, you hate having me in your class. And I said, actually, no, I don't. You're really smart. You understand what is being taught. You answer questions, and you ask good questions when you want to. I enjoy that. It makes teaching more interesting and fun. Then, these are actually true. It's all true, in spite of all the other stuff. I went back to the class, and I continued whatever it was we were doing. And none of the other students around her commented at all. Everybody's very quiet. And my aide, who was right behind me, hadn't even been aware of what happened. That's how quiet it was. So I was glad. And the student was silent for the rest of the period. And I told one of my coworkers that the student had finally said the terrible thing. And she was horrified and told my director, who called me that evening to see if I was okay. And I told her, we all call each other Miss. I said, Miss, I'm fine. I'm a professional person. I'm glad I had been warned so I could think about it, but I know that what she said wasn't really about me. It came from her pain and her brokenness. And then I told her the rest of the story. So, in assessing that event, I realized that my main emotion was gratitude. I felt gratitude for my director and my coworkers who wanted so desperately to safeguard my heart. I felt gratitude that I had responded in the way that I had hoped I would respond, and I felt gratitude that in the midst of a moment that I had actually seen ways to gift the student with some honest, heartfelt positives. And I don't credit myself for this little success. I credit my practice, because I was obviously in a state where I could do that. So, my second story, it happened the same day. It was a gratitude-filled day. I have a student who has spent the last number of years in and out of psychiatric hospitals for suicidal ideation and attempts. Her moments are with a lot of really pretty serious psychotic features. Also, she's a self-injurer. And her real trigger points for her mental health, her ongoing mental health crisis was the death of her mother from COVID at the beginning of the pandemic. She's obviously shaky before this, but she misses her mom, and she always states that she wants to be with her mom. That's what she wants, to be with her mom. So she doesn't want to be alive a lot. So she says that she knows her mom wouldn't like what she was doing, but she can't help it. And she starts to show signs that she's not in a good space, quite a bit ahead of crisis times. And her behavior gets more and more extreme and unpredictable. I don't want to give you a lot of details. She stops bathing. She wears the same clothes for days. She bangs her head, things like that. Okay, but on this lunch day, we were out on the patio, and she was pacing back and forth, and she looked upset. Then she went over to the edge of the patio and sat down and put her head in her hands. And I went over and sat beside her, and I said, "Hey, what's up?" And she started crying. She said, "I miss my mom." I hope I can do this without crying. I miss her so badly. I said, "Hey, I'm going to cry, sorry." I cried when I wrote this. I said to her, really tentatively, "You know, I just lost my sister. I miss her so much." And she turned her tear-streaked, makeup-streaked face to me, and she looked with such sincerity and intensity, and she said, I know. And she nodded her head. And I, who don't usually share really at a deep personal level with her, did share with her on this day. And we sat there together, and we shared our grief. And I shared, what I was going through, and I also shared just some of the ways that I hope to move forward. I didn't tell her anything that I thought she ought to do. She listened really carefully to me, which she doesn't always do, and I listened really carefully to her. I just wanted her to know that she wasn't alone in her grief, and that grief was a shared human experience. I wanted her to know that I had faith that I was going to be okay, and that she was going to be okay too, and that we would survive this. So when she came into my science class, 5th period, she seemed a lot more grounded. Don't ever know quite how it'll go. She fell asleep. But that's not that uncommon, and I figured she's probably pretty emotionally exhausted. But the true test of if she had become a little more stable was if she would make it through the night without her dad having to call for her to go to the hospital. And I was so happy to see her come in the next morning, and she had even taken a shower and changed her clothes. So I'm grateful. I give gratitude to my grief for having gifted me with the opportunity to gift another hurting heart with what it needed at that moment. And I think that's being in gratitude. So thank you. And let me check the time. And I'm still good on time. We have a minute. And so I believe we are coming to our time to extinguish our chalice, and we'll say our benediction together. We have a song first, and I'm, of course, lost my number 3. Here it is. So we have a song. It's called Alleluia, Sing Alleluia. I'm grateful for this song. It was Nick's favorite song, Nick Livingston, and he played it whenever he was our pianist, and I've resurrected the sheet music, and I could tell you about the person who wrote it because I looked her up online, but let's sing it. It's such a joyous, wonderful song. So let's rise in body and spirit and sing Alleluia. With you. But it's such a joyous song. And now we will extinguish our chalice. So, our words we say together. We leave this gathered community, but not our connection to one another or our sense of belonging here. In this hour together, we have inspired our hearts, strengthened our faith, and deepened our commitment to care for the world. So until we gather again, let's be grateful, strong, and kind. And blessed be.